Coventry manager. They beat Millwall. Hull are bottom after defeat to Blackburn. In League One, Wrexham's victory at Burton moves them level with the leaders Wickham, who are held at home by Reading. Walsall win at Port Vale to go above them to the top of League 2. Celtic are now 9 clear in Scotland as they beat Hibs and Aberdeen draw with St Johnstone. England's men's cricketers are in complete control of the second test against New Zealand, and McLaren's Lando Norris will be on pole for tomorrow's Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, the final race of the season. So reports and reaction to all the day's sport before we head to Old Trafford. I'll give you all the day's football as well, football scores as well, starting with just the 3 games in the Premier League. Aston Villa 1, Southampton 0, Brentford 4, Newcastle 2, and Crystal Palace 2, Manchester City 2. And that's where we will start. Sports Report at Selhurst Park with Ian Dennis.
An absorbing contest as Manchester City twice came from behind but finished the game with 10 men. It was certainly an eventful 16-minute period for Rico Lewis. He scored an excellent equaliser to make it 2-2 midway through the second half. He was soon booked for a show of dissent, and after 84 minutes was then shown a second yellow card as he was dismissed for a challenge on Chalobah. Munoz had given Palace a 4th-minute lead. Haaland's header made it 1-1. Lacroix restored the home side's advantage with a powerful header, their first headed goal in the Premier League this season. City did create the better chances. Henderson made a number of fine saves. Gundogan hit a post. But this is still City's lowest points tally in 14 seasons.
What did you make of that game then, Paul Robinson?
City were better, in all honesty, chappers. I thought they were better, Manchester City. I think they controlled large parts of the game. Crystal Palace started extremely well. They got their goal, which was just rewards for their efforts. But from that moment on, they sat deeper. They allowed Manchester City to control possession. But I suspect that was maybe a little bit of Oliver Glasner's game plan to, with that back five, sit in the back five, soak up the possession, and then hit Manchester City on the break. They certainly did it before the half-time break. City got themselves back into it. And then it was a smash and grab really from Crystal Palace, with the going up the other end, getting a corner, completely unmarked. Lacroix, free header in the box. Manchester City not quite back to the best, but they do look better. I saw them probably, 2 weeks ago against Tottenham when they got beat 4. Watched them in the Champions League against Feyenoord, and that was a better performance than both of those games.
Paul, Ian, thank you very much. Given former Manchester City goalkeeper, part of the Match of the Day team this evening. I mean, they're not back to their scintillating best, are they? But they were better, as Paul said.
Yeah, I don't know, Mark. I'm supposed to answer my opinion here, but I don't know. I think they were frustrating, actually, a little bit slow at times, I felt. You know, Rob was right in a sense when he said they were better second half, but I really felt the Palace kind of sat really quite deep and stuff. And then I look at the City were too slow with Gundogan, De Bruyne, Silva. Was the really quality players, don't get me wrong, but they just moved the ball too slow and didn't penetrate, wasn't quick enough for me. It was too easy to defend against, I felt. I mean, Rico Lewis probably the best player, and then goes and gets himself sent off. If you get a chance to watch Match of the Day later, he scores an absolutely brilliant goal into the top corner. But you know, I think Palace were sort of value for a draw, and Pep was really frustrated after the game. He's remonstrating with the fourth, then he walks onto the pitch to the referee, and you know, I think a bit like Newcastle the other night, they were breaking actually right at the death, I think, and the referee blew up for full time, so he wasn't happy with that. I don't think he was happy with the sending off as well, so it's just not all right in the camp.
No, that's what I mean. It's not. It's not clicking like it used to.
No, it does definitely not. I mean, Palace were defensively sitting low in a low sort of defensive unit, but at the same time, it wasn't Henderson making loads of saves and you know chance after chance after chance what we've seen these Cities teams in the past. It definitely wasn't that sort of performance. It was okay, I would say, okay performance, but again, if you see Palace's goals, you know, there's no sort of, we talk about Rodri every week, don't we? There's no sort of defensive unit for Man City. You know, for the first goal, Ortega maybe could do better as well, perhaps, in goal. And then the second goal, if you see that later on as well, so it's just a simple corner into the box, and it's a free header. You know, 4 or 5 yards out. It's just too simple.
I'm sure you'll do. You and Alan will do Newcastle analysis on. But
Alan's sitting next to me and he's not happy.
No, but that would
crap.
that would be doing Brentford a disservice. I mean, their home form and their goal scoring is off the charts at the moment.
Well, they scored more goals than any other team in the Premier League. They've been brilliant, and I suppose me and Al sitting here in the sofa, the two Newcastle heads, we're just frustrated because we're looking at how defensively poor Newcastle were. Second half as well, they were very poor going forward. But then the other side of the coin, Mark, and you're right, is how good Brentford were. They were brilliant. They were really, really good. And again, it's for Newcastle. You see the performance during the week is Liverpool, top class, and then today it drops off. So it's very frustrating for the fans who made that long journey in this weather conditions today as well. So very, very frustrated.
Have a good show with the grumpy one.
Thanks, Mark.
Let's go to Villa Park. Villa are beaten bottom of the table, Southampton 1-0. Pat Murphy.
The mixture as before for Southampton. Some hair-raising lapses in defence. A goal-bound shot by Archer blocked by Villa's Conser. Then midway through the first half, Wood and Harwood-Bellis got in the way of each other, and Duran finished a bullocking run with a deft chip. Southampton's keeper Lumley never looked comfortable, but as usual, they pinged the ball around with composure, but they lacked the killer punch. 11 goals now in 15 league games. Villa, with an eye on the midweek Champions League fixture at Leipzig, put on 4 substitutes at the same time, and one of them, Watkins, could have had a hat-trick in the closing minutes as Southampton pressed for the equaliser. They're deep in trouble, of course, but the teenager Dibbling looks a fine prospect, and I've seen worse teams at the bottom come Christmas time.
Thank you very much, Pat. Reaction to come. So we've got grumpy Geordies in the Match of the Day office, but I would imagine very happy home fans at the G-Tech. John Southall.
Yeah, those jubilant Brentford fans just drifting away now. It's just another normal Saturday afternoon at the G-Tech Stadium. It rarely disappoints here. 40 goals scored in 8 league games. Brentford with 26 of those. It is an incredible home record. Terrific game in what was really testing conditions. 2-2 at half-time, and Bumo put Brentford ahead. Isak equalised. Harvey Barnes then gave the ball away, and Wieser punished him. He then made amends, Barnes, with a really good finish to equalise. We played 32 minutes, 2-2, just a normal afternoon. The decisive goal, poor one from Newcastle's perspective. Flecken launched a long free kick. Newcastle didn't react. Nathan Collins did, and he guided it into the bottom right-hand corner. Tonali, Almiron both went close late on before Kevin Schade clipped in the fourth to wrap it up. So 22 points here from 24. They just need to learn how to win away, get anything away from home. Newcastle, no wins from 4.
So here's the table then. Obviously there are a lot of games tomorrow. The Merseyside derby was postponed at lunchtime. There's a Monday night game as well this week with West Ham against Wolves. So Liverpool 35, Chelsea and Arsenal 28. They've all played 14 games. Then Manchester City 27, Villa 25, Brentford 23. They've all played 15. Brighton have 23 from 14. Fulham and Nottingham Forest 22 from 14. Bournemouth 21, Tottenham 20. They've also both played 14. Newcastle have 20 from 15. Then Manchester United 19 from 14, West Ham 15 from 14, and Everton 14 from 14. Palace have played 15 and have 13 points. Leicester 13 from 14, and then there's just a bit of a gap between those and then the bottom 3. Ipswich 9 from 14, Wolves 9 from 14, and Southampton 5 from 15. West Ham have issued a statement in the last hour and a half or so to say that their striker Michail Antonio has today been involved in a road traffic accident. They go on to say the thoughts and prayers of everyone at the club are with Michail, his family and friends at this time. The club will issue an update in due course. Let me bring you the Championship results next. Leeds 2, Derby 0 at lunchtime. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Preston 1, and Sunderland 2, Stoke 1. All 3 of those early kickoffs. Then at 3 o'clock, Hull 0, Blackburn 1. Hull dropped to the bottom of the table. Luton 1, Swansea 1. Millwall 0, Coventry 1. Frank Lampard's first win as Coventry manager. Bottom of the table, Portsmouth at the start of the day thrashed Bristol City 3-0, and it was a similarly big win for QPR. They beat Norwich 3-0 at Loftus Road, so they're out of the bottom 3. Let's hear from Daniel Farke first of all. Leeds going top of the Championship after that 2-0 win at home to Derby.
In this league, you will always lose games. I spoke about Leicester. I think last game they've lost 11 games and won comfortably the league. You can't expect 46 games to win them all. And there is here and there. Third game for us in six days. Yeah, a bit unlucky then against a good opponent, Blackburn. Sometimes you lose a game, but it's important how you respond. And I think it's third time after loss during the season that we respond with a win. The game after loss is always the most difficult one, and we have responded always with a top result and also a really good performance. It's something what I call winning mentality, and we've shown this several times already. But it's also right now to keep going and show this again and again.
Give you the championship table shortly. Let's go back to Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace 2, Manchester City 2. Mateus Nunes live on Sports Report with Andy Gillies.
And the man who laid on the goal for Erling Haaland as well. Fantastic cross for the goal. That must be satisfaction, but disappointment, I presume, about the result.
Yeah, you described exactly how I feel. Because we wanted to win. This is the most important thing for us. Always, every game we try to win the 3 points, and we didn't manage to do it today. But yeah, we just have to keep going.
That was a game, watching, that we felt you should have won, but twice you conceded the lead.
But this is football. This happens, and you just have to bounce back, and we did. We didn't score the third, but we created a lot of chances, and still we controlled the game. So, it's football.
I talked about your cross. It was a magnificent cross, but also a magnificent header as well.
Yeah, it was good. I'm just not happy with the result at all.
And your feeling now? You obviously feel 2 points dropped. What's the feeling within the camp, within the squad, about the situation you're in the table?
The same. The squad is the same. Nothing's changed. We're going to keep working like we always did, and yeah, nothing's changed.
Mateus, thank you for talking to 5 Live.
Thank you.
Andy Gillies live with Mateus Nunes on Sports Report. So Leeds are top of the Championship, just going back to that division, 38 from 19. Sheffield United go to West Brom tomorrow. They're in second, 38 from 18. Then Burnley have 37, Sunderland 36 and Middlesbrough 31. They've all played 19. Blackburn have 31 from 18. Hull drop to the bottom of the table. They have 15 from 19. Portsmouth have 16 from 17 after that big win over Bristol City. Plymouth's game was postponed today, as was Cardiff's. They both have 17 from 18. QPR have risen up the table to 20th. Big win today at home to Norwich. Watched by Hamish Marshall.
You can say that again. 3-0. It had seemed ominous when striker Zancella limped off early on. Ryan Coley seemed to take an age to get stripped, but when he appeared, he secured a first home win of the season, a header in first half stoppage time, and a good finish shortly after the restart. The 21-year-old who'd never scored before twice came close to getting his hat-trick. Jimmy Dunn had put Rangers in front before the Coley show. That's 4 unbeaten, 3 successive clean sheets, and QPR are out of the relegation zone for the first time in 2 months.
Elsewhere in the Championship, good day for Frank Lampard. First win as Coventry manager. It came at Millwall. Paul Scott.
And it was by 1-0. Fist pumps at full time from Frank Lampard as he celebrated with the travelling Coventry fans. He's up and running as Sky Blues boss thanks to Efron Mason-Clark's second half goal. That was enough to secure the points here at the Den, where the Lions were really rather toothless. They didn't manage a single attempt on target. Their push for the playoff places takes a hit. As for Coventry, it's a first win in 6 for them. Something for Lampard to build on.
In League One today, in the 2 early games, Lincoln 0, Charlton 0 and Wigan 0, Leyton Orient 2. Then at 3 o'clock, Barnsley, who had a man sent off, won. In fact, they did go ahead at Oakwell, did Barnsley, but they were beaten 2-1 by Birmingham. Burton 0, Wrexham 1. Big win for Cambridge as they beat Shrewsbury 4-1. Mansfield 1, Huddersfield 2. Stockport beat Exeter 2-0. And leaders Wickham held 1-1 at home by Reading. They stay top, do Wickham, on goal difference. They've got 40 points from 18 games. Wrexham the same amount of points from 19. Birmingham have 39, but they've only played 17. Huddersfield have 35, they've played 18. Stockport 33 from 19. And Reading 31 from 18. Shrewsbury rock bottom of the table with 11 points. Burton also have 11. Cambridge have 16. Northampton 18. They're the bottom 4. They've all played the same number of games. So let's get the details of Wickham's 1-1 draw with Reading. Here's Henry Moran.
Wickham 16 unbeaten. Second game running though, they've dropped points. All look set for a 7th home win on the bounce when Berily Lubala fired home early on. But Harvey Nibbs was on hand to tap home before the break to delight those who had made the short journey from Berkshire. It could have gone either way in a lively second half. The wind causing havoc, creating as many opportunities as it prevented. 5 unbeaten in the league now for Reading, for whom new boss Noel Hunt will be delighted with the spirit shown against the league leaders. A slight blip this for the fine Wickham side at the top of the pile.
So as I said earlier, 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th all won in League One to close the gap on Wickham. Let's go to the side in 2nd, Wrexham, who won 1-0 at Burton, watched by Stephen Wyeth.
Well, it was one of those days when excuses could be forgiven. Wrexham, though, found a way to make Storm Darragh work in their favour to secure what was a 4th successive victory. After an hour of little substance, Elliot Lee lined up a couple of rangefinders from left-wing corners before placing one perfectly into the swirling gale and subsequently scoring directly from the set piece. In it went off the far post. If subsequent chances had been taken, then Wrexham might have won by a big enough margin to go top on goal difference, but it was one of those afternoons for a promotion chaser when any sort of win was highly satisfactory.
Thank you very much. In the early games in League Two, Crewe 1, Bradford 1. Alex Patterson getting the equaliser for Bradford and getting himself sent off 2 minutes later for violent conduct. Walsall have gone top of League Two with a 1-0 win at the previous leaders Port Vale. Then at 3 o'clock, Accrington 1, Bromley 2, Chesterfield 3, Tranmere 0, Doncaster 2, Cheltenham 2, Gillingham 1, Salford 0, Harrogate 0, AFC Wimbledon 3, Grimsby also won 3-0 at Morecambe, and Swindon get a big win. They beat Fleetwood by 3-1. Harry Smith got all 3 of the goals for Ian Holloway's side, so he's now got 9 for the season. They did start the day bottom of the table, did Swindon. So the league table, Walsall going top now with that win at Port Vale. They have 37 and Port Vale have 35. Doncaster 33. Crewe and Grimsby have 31. AFC Wimbledon and MK Dons have 30. Swindon actually out of the bottom 2 with that win. Carlisle dropped to the bottom of the table, 14 points from 18 games. Morecambe have 14 from 19. Swindon 16 from 19. No National League games today because it was the FA Trophy. Let's go straight into the Scottish Premiership. Celtic extended their lead at the top of the table. They beat Hibs 3-0. Aberdeen 1, St Johnstone 1 is the other reason why they've extended that lead. Elsewhere, Dundee United 1, Kilmarnock 1, Hearts 2, Dundee 0, St Mirren 0, Motherwell 1. Details of the Celtic win from Ailey Barber.
A comfortable day for Celtic, but Hibs will look back on 3 huge chances in the first half that they squandered. Celtic, again, not showing the intensity we know they can play with, a little sloppy in possession, but they just grind teams down with their pressing and their qualities off the ball. Hibs switched off on a couple of occasions. They were punished before Kyogo produced a moment of real quality to wrap up the points and move Celtic 9 points clear at the top with a game in hand. No one would suggest a title is wrapped up before Christmas, but you have to wonder, even at this early stage, if anyone can stop them. It finished at Celtic Park. Celtic 3, Hibs 0.
We'll go to Aberdeen for details of their draw with St Johnstone after we head to Brentford, and Christian Norgard is waiting to talk to John Southall live.
Yep, Christian just come out of the dressing room. Christian, another quiet afternoon at the Cheetah. What's it like to play in this team?
Oh, we absolutely love it, clearly. There's this wizard walking by with his kids. I think they're going on to play now. I don't know what it is with us at home. We seem to be very, very, very sharp offensively. We have so much quality up front. We're still conceding a bit too much, even at home. Of course, we'll take it with all the wins, but it's still something we have to work with.
We'll score more than you.
Yeah, it's something we have to work with, and then of course also take some of the.
Played Wednesday with one as well.
And here's Thomas Frank as well.
So hopefully we can take it on the road as well.
I suppose the $1 million question is, you're great here. So why the big difference away from home?
Like you said, it's $1 million question. So if I had the answer, I would probably be both coach and player at the same time. It's a hard, tricky one for us to solve. But we just keep working, we keep training hard, and eventually we'll also turn away. I'm sure it will change. And we saw you as players at the end with the fans. There does seem to be a great connect between the both of you. Yeah, absolutely. It feels like the fans love coming here because we also play entertaining football, and we also really enjoy ourselves at home. So, but also the away fans have been amazing, and it's time for us to give something back as well. Yeah. You're 6th in the league. You'll be looking at Europe, won't you? That was not the questions after the Villa game. That's funny. That's funny how quickly these questions changed. Yeah, let's see what happens in the next, I think, 5 or 6 games. That will probably decide which way to look.
Christian, thanks for talking to us.
You reporters are so fickle, John Southall.
Say again,
you're so fickle, aren't you?
Well, you know me.
Celtic have 43 points. Just going back to the Scottish Premiership, 43 from 15. Aberdeen have played a game more, and they have 34. So that 2 points dropped at Pittodrie, Gavin Wallace, costly.
Yeah, it was. It was scrappy throughout today. Aberdeen won, St Johnstone won. Both teams weren't not in great form ahead of this, more so after Aberdeen's great start to the season. The Dons looked nervous, shaky and anxious for the whole game as well. The visitors hadn't picked up any points on the road since an away win to Dundee back in October, but it was them that opened up as Matt Smith stormed down the right-hand side. James McGarry got it all wrong, didn't clear, and Mackenzie Kirk was there just to smash home. Then just after the second half, Lewis Nielsen, just before that, Lewis Nielsen actually hit the bar for St Johnstone. It could have been 2 up before the break, but then the break came. There was a raft of changes for Aberdeen. Duke hit the byline, as classic a cutback as you will ever see, and Leighton Clarkson was the one that gambled to ensure a share of the spoils in the Granite City today. The stats don't look good for Aberdeen. 1 win in 6, as we say, 9 behind Celtic, 5 ahead of Rangers. But from a St Johnstone point of view, Mark, a very well deserved point on the road this afternoon. Aberdeen 1, St Johnstone 1.
Hibs have dropped to the bottom of the table after that defeat at Celtic. Hearts back above them after the 2-0 win over Dundee. Hibs have 12, Hearts have 13. Kilmarnock got a late point at Dundee United. They have 14, as do St Johnstone after that draw at Pittodrie. Other football results for you. No games in Northern Ireland today, no games in Wales either. So in the Scottish Championship, Dunfermline 3, Hamilton 2, Falkirk 3, Wraith 0, Morton 0, Livingston 0, Partick beat Ayr by 1-0, and it finished Queen's Park 2, Airdrieonians 0. Falkirk have an 8-point lead at the top of the Championship. In League 1, Annan 1, Cove Rangers 1, Kelty Hearts 0, Alloa 2, Montrose 2, Inverness 3. Montrose down to 10 in that game. Dumbarton were down to 9 as they lost 4-0 at Stenhousemuir. Stenhousemuir 2 points clear of Alloa at the top of League 1. And then just the 3 games in Scottish League 2 today. Clyde 3, Peterhead 2, East Fife 2, Elgin 1. And Stirling 0, Edinburgh City 3. So that win for East Fife over Elgin puts them a point clear of the side they defeated today at the top of League 2. Back to the Premier League. Aston Villa beating Southampton by 1-0. We can hear from John McGinn.
John, 2 wins in quick succession at home. How important were those wins for you?
Aye, so important. Obviously, a really poor run. One we hadn't been used to in a couple of seasons, but back to basics a little Wednesday night made it really tough for Brentford to come and play here, and then today was a really tough game. We knew Southampton could cause us a lot of problems. 5 minutes into the game, we could feel we were in a match today, and they fought till the end, but we could have put them away a wee bit earlier.
You seem to struggle today to find any fluency to your proceedings.
Aye, well, the weather made it difficult. Storm Dara was it in force. At the start, we seemed to be against the wind, and then at half time we came out and we were against the wind again, so it was hard to judge the kind of flight of the ball, get a bit of rhythm in the game, but we ground it out in the end and enjoyed the game. Actually, it was a classic, some 50-50s gone in, wet, miserable, and 3 points, so it was quite nice.
The all-important goal put away by John Duran in the starting lineup for the first time this season in the Premier League. Quality finish in the end, but good work to get himself in that position too.
He's got everything, power, pace. He's obviously still got a lot to learn. He's young, but he shows that if he can come in for Ollie when he's having a rest, he can bring us something different, and he's one of the best finishers I've seen, and when he went through one-on-one, I had no doubt in him.
John McGinn with Martin Fisher. All the goals match of the day, 10:25 on BBC One. 4 games so far in Rugby Union's Champions Cup. Claremont beat Benetton 28-0. Sharks 39, Exeter 21. Northampton beat Castres 38-8. Finished Stormers 14, Toulon 24. At 5:30 on Sports Extra, you're going to be able to hear Saracens against Bulls. Keeping an eye on it for us here on 5 Live. Sarah Orchard.
Yeah, and Saracens, they're the 3 times champions in this competition, but the last trophy they won was now back in 2019, and they're looking for a bit of a fight back. They had a really big shock loss away to Newcastle in the Premiership last time out. So 5 changes for them, including England captain Jamie George and club captain Mara Toje back in that starting lineup. But the Bulls, they've been trucking along nicely in the URC, 3rd at the moment, including 4 away wins. But how seriously will the South Africans take the Champions Cup this season? Because they essentially threw a quarter-final last season because of travel challenges, but this side is stacked. Willie LaRue and Gerard Steenkamp, just a handful of the Springboks on show in this opening Pool 3 encounter.
And in the cricket today, a hat-trick from Gus Atkinson and 96 from Jacob Bethel helped England take control of the second test, 378 for 5. They closed their second innings, a lead of 533. The TMS pod is on BBC Sounds. Let's head to Old Trafford. Manchester United against Nottingham Forest. Izzy Christiansen and John Akers are there, where the Manchester United squad, John, have just unveiled a flag in tribute of a much-loved member of staff who died this week.
That's right, Kath Phipps, who was 85 and gave 55 years of service to Manchester United, has died this week. Much loved, the longest serving employee of Manchester United. Worked on reception, most notably at Carrington, amongst a number of other jobs, stretching right back to the time of Sir Matt Busby. There's been lovely tributes this week on social media from the likes of David Beckham and Rio Ferdinand. So the banner they've just unfurled says, "Legend, thank you, Kath," and we're going to see some wreaths laid out there in the middle as well, and also a minute's applause in a few moments' time. So Bruno Fernandes is going to lay a wreath for Manchester United, the captain, and Anthony Elanga as well of Nottingham Forest, who of course spent 9 years at Manchester United. He's not in the starting lineup for Nottingham Forest today. He's on the bench, but he has asked if he can lay a wreath on behalf of Nottingham Forest.
Of our beloved colleague Kath Phipps. Kath was part of the Manchester United family for more than 55 years, forging friendships with generation after generation of players and staff. She was the welcoming face of our great club at Old Trafford and Carrington. And today, we pay tribute to her immense contribution. Old Trafford, please join in a moment's applause to celebrate the wonderful life of Kath Phipps.
Was just lovely, and I'm sure Kath's friends and family will have enjoyed that, and there won't be a dry eye amongst their friends and family. And I know that a lot of Manchester United players who knew her very well and staff down the years have really been moved by her passing this week and will really...
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Unfortunately, due to rights restrictions, we're not able to bring you the current sports commentary on this platform. You may be able to listen on an alternative platform. For further information and terms of use, go to bbc.co.uk/5live.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Unfortunately, due to rights restrictions, we're not able to bring you the current sports commentary on this platform.
Morgan Gibbs-White to get things underway for us. Just a bit of a delay in blowing the whistle. The players are all now set, ready to go. Referee's just checking that we are on the right time for the whistle to go, and he's checking with the fourth official. And in fact, things aren't good to go because Manchester United forgot to move the warm-up cones from the touchline. So these have now been removed by Diogo Dalot, and we are underway. All the way back immediately to Sells. Ball upfield onto the left-hand side in the direction of Chris Wood. Dealt with by Matthijs de Ligt up towards the halfway line. It's been let to bounce by Yates. On the second attempt, he headed it back to Murillo. And then one back by Ugarte. Looks for the through ball on the right-hand side to be chased down by Amad Diallo. It's now with Callum Hudson-Odoi. Inside to Yates. Yates tries to switch this across to Jota Silva. Chased down though by Diogo Dalot. Takes the deflection off Silva. And Aina gets there alongside Garnacho. There's a battle going on between the two of them at the moment. Aina's had to turn and go inside into the opposition half. He's dribbled it past multiple players. Excellent work from Aina here. He's also got past Martinez. Onto the right hand side now for Jota Silva. Back to Aina again on the edge of the area. Goes back to Elliot Anderson this time. And back again to Jota Silva. And the cross takes a bit of a deflection. It goes out of play for a corner for Nottingham Forest to get things started. That's excellent work by Ola Aina on the right hand side. Collected the ball and dribbled it inside, and as he got multiple Manchester United players, he managed to get himself between the United players and push forward, then dribbled it past Lisandro Martinez before playing it out wide to Jota Silva to keep Nottingham Forest in the ascendancy. A side that has been surprising a lot of people so far this season are Forest. The outswinging corner on its way in towards the middle, headed goalwards, and it's in! And Nottingham Forest within the first minute and a half have taken the lead. The outswinging corner went to around the penalty area, and I think it's come off the head of Milenkovic to direct it goalwards. Players that came forward for Nottingham Forest. There's no VAR requirement. Manchester United just walk away in disappointment. He runs in towards the middle. It has come there off the head of Milenkovic on its way through. There's Morgan Gibbs-White stood on the line, but as soon as it's taken, he's moved away. And Onana was stood just on the line. And within the first minute and a half, it's Manchester United 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Nikola Milenkovic with the goal to get things underway for the visiting side. And United will get things back underway for us. Højlund goes back to De Ligt. Now across to Martinez. He's under pressure already from Jota Silva. Has to go back to his goalkeeper. He does get the ball back from him. Still by the touchline up towards Højlund. Headed away by Milenkovic. Brought down though by Aina again. Inside now to Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes has space to move on the edge of the area. Plays this across to Garnacho. In towards Højlund, who can't get the final touch. It's all the way across to Diallo. Just outside of the area. He's kept it in play. Still on the right hand side though. Now inside to Ugarte. Switches this back out to Garnacho again. Inside now for Bruno Fernandes. And back to Garnacho. And then back to Martinez. Still Ugarte in the middle. Sideways pass to De Ligt. And then another one to Euro. Euro back across to De Ligt again. Just outside of the centre circle inside his own half. Now to Lisandro Martinez. Martinez up to the halfway line, then across to De Ligt. Now out to Euro. Euro has the short option of Kobbie Mainoo, but instead goes across to Martinez again. Down the line now for Diogo Dalot. Ball goes in towards Rasmus Højlund. He takes the first touch into the area, tries to turn his man, but he runs into Milenkovic, who gives the ball out to Anderson and then eventually gets rid of it for Nottingham Forest, and it's a Manchester United throw-in on the left-hand side. We're slow to get things going with United. And they're made to pay the ultimate price. They have a throw-in now just inside Nottingham Forest half and a chance to give an immediate response. This time goes back to Dalot. Now to Martinez. Across to Euro. Now out to Diallo on the right hand side by the touchline. As that run through the middle there of Bruno Fernandes, looks down the line for it. There was a gap between the two players if he'd played it through the middle. Opted to go for the overlap there of Bruno Fernandes, the Manchester United captain. This time he's taken the throw and gives it to Diallo, gets it back. And now Fernandes again inside the area, goes back to Kobbie Mainoo and back to Fernandes onto the edge of the area. Lined up a shot did Martinez, but instead he's giving it to Diogo Dalot. Back again to Ugarte. And then Martinez, all the way back to De Ligt. Again inside the centre circle. Then Martinez. And then De Ligt again. And Martinez. United just slowing things back down, looking for those gaps, trying to create something. Now to Dalot. Inside to Kobbie Mainoo. First touch takes it away from Ryan Yates. Second one brings it back in past Ryan Yates, and he wants a free kick and he's going to get one. Ryan Yates was judged to have brought him down to ground. And by the touchline, United will have a free kick. And where most teams may look to get the ball into the box from this situation, that's not the same as what Manchester United have opted to do. They've gone back instead to Lisandro Martinez and then into their own half with Matthijs de Ligt. Now out to Euro again and back to De Ligt. Inside his own half up towards the centre circle. Back out to Euro. And back again to De Ligt. Nottingham Forest not wasting their energy in pressurising Manchester United when they're inside their own half. They've got the goal that they wanted. If the chances come, they'll try and take them, but until then they're just more than happy to let Manchester United keep the ball inside their own half. As soon as they venture into Forest's half, though, this press becomes a lot more intensified. Now across to Martinez. Takes it into Nottingham Forest half this time. On the left to Diogo Dalot. Now inside to Kobbie Mainoo. Back to Dalot again, still on the edge of the area. Ball across the face of goal, nobody's there. And it really needed somebody at the back post trying to latch onto the end of it. It's gone across the face of goal and nobody took a touch. Murillo was the closest. Couldn't take a touch because there was a chance he was going to put it into his own goal if he did that. The flag was right to stay down. And even the run at the back post being made by Bruno Fernandes was late. Good play though on that left hand side for United. Lascelles takes this goal kick. Headed on by Wood. Now to Martinez. Has to go all the way back to Onana in goal. On the penalty spot, passes this out now to De Ligt again and back to Onana. Then across to the left to Lisandro Martinez. Martinez has that run by Dalot in plenty of space, but he gets the ball behind him and it's out of play for another throw-in for Nottingham Forest on the right hand side. Just looking at that run that was made, he was stood on the edge of the area was Milenkovic, and then he just ran in and nobody followed him from Manchester United. Eventually Martinez was there and he just directed it goalwards, and big gap in the goal where he could have placed it and did so, and now it's with Ryan Yates. Attempts to thread a through ball to Callum Hudson-Odoi. He's gone down under the challenge and referee's given nothing for it, and Manchester United now come away with Rasmus Højlund breaking away on the left hand side. He's got Garnacho making a run in the middle, Diallo on the right. In it goes from Højlund. He's gone down to ground. Now he wants a free kick and the referee says no. Zaina comes away with the ball. Gets it back. Pass inside now to Elliot Anderson. Elliot Anderson's got space to move into. He's eventually closed down though by Manuel Ugarte. He wins it back for United. Back at the halfway line now, Martinez gets the ball and just slows things down. Passes it sideways now to Kobbie Mainoo. Mainoo back again to De Ligt. De Ligt again to Martinez. Now down the line for Kobbie Mainoo again. Mainoo inside to Garnacho this time. Garnacho's pass to the touchline for Diogo Dalot. Now back to Lisandro Martinez. Martinez goes across. And across again, this time for Yoro. It's inside for Fernandes. Now out for Diallo. Diallo by the touchline, brings it in onto his left foot, takes it to the edge of the area, gives it to Fernandes. Cross comes in from Bruno Fernandes. It's dealt with at the back post by Aina though. Kept in play by Hudson-Odoi, or no. His first touch knocks it out of play, but he could have kept it in. Throwing from Manchester United again that Fernandes comes across to take. Goes it into the box, brought down by Kobbie Mainoo. And back to Fernandes again. Now to Ugarte. Across to Garnacho, sends it goalwards just wide. Going to be a goal kick now to Forest. And that was Milenkovic's first goal in a Nottingham Forest shirt. reaching the 10-minute mark. If you are late joining us, thank you for choosing Flashscore as your unofficial coverage of the Premier League, bringing you all coverage of today's games and of course tomorrow and all the Premier League games over the course of the Christmas period. It is Manchester United 0, Nottingham Forest 1. The goal scored was in the first 90 seconds of the game. This time the pass from Ryan Yates takes a bounce and it skids off the wet surface at Old Trafford, now to play for a throw-in. Ruben Amorim's Manchester United's 6th permanent manager in the last 12 football seasons. We'll be hoping to be the one to turn their fortunes around. Martinez beats his man and makes a break down the left-hand side. Pass inside now to Kobbie Mainoo. He's continued his run forward. Now halted. And it goes to Bruno Fernandes. Now to Diallo, just outside of the area. Diallo brings this back for Fernandes, sends it goalwards, but with the inside of his foot he put too much on it and it's gone round and out of play for a goal kick. And there's wanting a corner, but I think that's a bit too optimistic to be hoping for. It's going to be a goal kick to be taken by Sells again. Fernandes just trying to organise Manchester United on the field at the moment. Sells taking as long as he can over this goal kick. Gets it comfortably into Manchester United's half, but it's headed away by De Ligt, brought down by Højlund, but won back by Anderson. He's gone back towards his own goalkeeper with it. Sells has had to improvise, but manages to get rid of the ball before it gets to Rasmus Højlund. Now back inside to Kobbie Mainoo. To his right he has Manuel Ugarte. Ugarte goes across again, this time to Kobbie Mainoo. Mainoo goes back to Sandro Martinez. Now to De Ligt, back to Martinez. Still got Garnacho in the middle, uses him. Now it goes down to Dalot. Garnacho gets the ball in the overlapping run. Flag has stayed down as Garnacho takes this into the area and goes to tackle with Aina. Aina keeps it in play and wins the ball back, but his pass is dispossessed by Dalot. Goes to Kobbie Mainoo. Mainoo takes it in towards the area, goes down, and it's a free kick just outside the area in favour of Manchester United. Just looking round, and Jota Silva didn't look too happy with that, but he's put his hands on the back of Kobbie Mainoo and pushed him to ground. It's a very dangerous position as well. I mean, it's too far left to be able to get a shot away, but so close to being a penalty, you've got to be careful in those circumstances. It's going to be almost like it's a corner from the edge of the 18-yard box. Fernandes will take the free kick. Plenty of United players lurking on the edge, and everyone inside the 6-yard box. Højlund, Dalot, Martinez, all inside there to put pressure on Sells. Gives it back this time, it goes to Diallo, sends it goalwards, it's deflected away. Martinez puts it back in towards the back post and it's pushed over very well by Sells. It's going to be another corner to Manchester United. Højlund's in the back of the goal at the moment, struggling to get back to his feet. He's not the only one down on the ground at the minute. The goal scorer Milenkovic is also down on the floor. I think that's come from Martinez's header back across. I think it was dipping in over the goalkeeper. He's had to push the ball over. Let's see if it was going in. I think it was, yeah, but I think Milenkovic, due to his height, has headbutted the crossbar as well. It's Manchester United's first corner. In swinger from the left-hand side, in towards the near post, but it's not beating the first man. Goes back to Garnacho though. And then back to Ugarte. Switches this over right now for Diallo. Diallo goes back into his own half. It's with Martinez. Martinez now across to Dalot. Down the line. Here's Garnacho by the touchline. Options in the middle. Back inside with Fernandes. Fernandes gets it back after a quick 1-2, but he's lost out on possession. Then he pulls down to ground. Elliot Anderson gets back up to his feet. Bruno Fernandes voices his displeasure towards the referee, not happy with the decision that was made there by Darren England. And Nottingham Forest will get a free kick from just outside their area. Espirito Santo, of course, dismissed from Wolves. Really showing what he's capable of as a manager. The ball headed on by Jota Silva into the direction of Chris Wood, but it's won back now by Kobbie Mainoo. Now to Bruno Fernandes. He plays the ball down for Amad Diallo down the right hand side, goes into the tackle there with Williams, but Williams wins it back. Then loses his footing and eventually goes down and wins a free kick. Started to lose his footing a little bit earlier than that and then went down to ground, and there's been no contact between Nico Williams and Amad Diallo, so Diallo walks away with a smirk, knowing exactly what's just happened. And Bruno Fernandes goes over to speak to the referee, feels that Darren England is making the wrong decisions. Said that twice so far. Nottingham Forest have scored first in 12 of the 14 games so far. This will be the 15th. And they see themselves in 6th place in the live league table if this scoreline remains. Now the pass from Mainoo goes sideways towards Ugarte. It's taken a touch off Darren England, so he has to put a stop to play and carry things on. Puts the ball down to Kobbie Mainoo. Lets him pass this across to Martinez, who goes back towards De Ligt. It goes across this time to Yoro. And back to De Ligt again. In his own half as it stands, and goes sideways to Lisandro Martinez. United are more than happy to just hold on to possession inside their own half at the moment. Now it's Bruno Fernandes. He plays this ball through to Manuel Ugarte, and a chance for Manchester United. Through the middle it goes. First touch is good. Second's not done it. But Rasmus Højlund puts it away as it falls into his path. And it is now Manchester United 1, Nottingham Forest 1. I think it was Garnacho making the run through the middle when the ball was played by Manuel Ugarte. It was an excellent pass. It was a superb run to split the defenders. And the ball inside the area, and his first effort was saved by Sells. Looking at the replay, if it was Garnacho making the run. Flag will stay down, and for the right reason. His first touch doesn't get past the goalkeeper, but it falls straight into the path of Rasmus Højlund. You'd like your defenders really to be a bit more alert when you've done all you can as the goalkeeper, but before the keeper even managed to get back up to his feet, Rasmus Højlund has already put the sides on level terms. 18 minutes gone at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 1, Nottingham Forest 1. And since Forest took the lead, it's certainly been on its way. Now it's Forest's turn to get things underway for us. Straight from kick-off, it goes out to Hudson-Odoi. He plays it inside to Ryan Yates. Chip ball over towards Chris Wood, doesn't make it there. Now it's with Yoro again, just outside of the area. Yoro with a quick 1-2 with Diallo. Goes back this time to Onana, who has to get rid of it first time due to the pressure from Chris Wood, and it's out into the stand, and it's going to be a throw-in now to Nottingham Forest on the left-hand side. Well, that's Højlund's third goal in as many games. Certainly giving his argument as to why he should be the leading striker over the likes of Marcus Rashford and Joshua Zirkzee, who both are on the bench today. Gives that selection headache for the manager, but it's a good selection headache, they say. Garnacho this time goes back with the pass to Dalot. Dalot up towards Rasmus Højlund. Brings this down for Kobbie Mainoo now for Garnacho. Mainoo continues his run back inside to Diogo Dalot. Into Martinez, across to Yoro again. Yoro forward to Mainoo, lays this off for Amad Diallo. And then back to De Ligt. De Ligt across to Martinez. Now he ventures into Nottingham Forest half. From the left hand side, he's gone a good 20 yards into Nottingham Forest half before he's received any pressure. Forest seems to be playing with players behind the ball. A lot of respect to this Manchester United side, if they are at home. And Yarrow again with plenty of space to move into the opposition half. Goes across to De Ligt. And back to his goalkeeper. Onana gets it just outside of his area. Now back out to De Ligt again, towards the halfway line. Goes on pushing forward into the centre circle. He's got Bruno Fernandes alongside him once again. Rasmus Højlund's not far away either. Instead goes sideways to Diallo. Goes all the way back to Onana again. Now out to Martinez. And then back inside to De Ligt. De Ligt switches this across to Amad Diallo. Manchester United, since going 1-0 down, about 82% possession, have really responded well to going behind, but it's now with Diallo. Takes the ball into Nottingham Forest half. He loses out on the tackle this time to Murillo. Takes it onto the left hand side. Pass down the line to Hudson-Odoi. He's up against Ugarte at the moment, and Forest win the throw in, and Bruno Fernandes again voices his displeasure. Because that should be Manchester United's throw in, but it's going to be taken by Nico Williams instead. Nico Williams looking for options, and he doesn't have too many close to him as United are cutting out these channels. He eventually gets it down to Chris Wood. He heads this on to Hudson-Odoi on the edge of the area. Hudson-Odoi brings it in. Plays it across the middle now for Gibbs-White. Out to the right hand side for Silva. Aina makes the overlapping run. It goes inside to Yates. Now the pass to Elliot Anderson. Goes back to Milenkovic. And then back to Yates again. Now all the way back to Sells. Sells halfway between the halfway line and the edge of the goalkeeper's area. And Sells switches this out right. Watched out by Jota Silva though. Can't get to it. And Diallo will win his side of throwing. About equal with the edge of the area. Just looking for his supporting options. Martinez goes to his left, but can't do anything with it. The throw goes short, but it's won back by Forest. Through ball towards Chris Wood. Goes through to Onana, who plays it out now to De Ligt. Out to Yoro. Now Amad Diallo. Wants a supporting option from Ugarte. Goes across instead now to Sandro Martinez. Back up towards the halfway line. And Martinez continues with space to move into. Chips it over the top now to be chased down by Diallo. Can he keep it in play? Across the middle it goes. Effort can't be made goalwards by Rasmus Højlund. And Forest will clear the lines, and there's a chance to break now with Aina on the right hand side. He's got options in the middle in Chris Wood, making a run through the middle now is Morgan Gibbs-White trying to offer support. Down the line it goes for Gibbs-White. He gets there ahead of Martinez. He's been pushed to the ground. He wants a free kick. And I'm guessing by the reaction of Lisandro Martinez that that's not what's going to be given. Ball over the top for Diallo was certainly onside. Chips it over into the middle. Højlund couldn't direct his effort goalwards. And Forest were able to clear the lines, and it is a goal kick that was given to Manchester United. You'd think if it's the other way round though, and that's an attacker fouling the defender, you'd think that's a free kick given. Seeing it's the other way around, the referee has opted against it. Switch pass this time comes from Matthijs de Ligt, but it's too heavy and it goes over the head of Diogo Dalot. His intended target and out of play for a throw-in. It's going to be taken by Aina. Down the line by Aina. Headed on by Wood again. Second header won by Ugarte. Goes all the way through this time for Martinez. There's some confusion there between the Manchester United defenders, but it's left Nottingham Forest player down on the ground in a lot of pain. Holding on to his face at the moment is Jota Silva. Feels like he may have taken a hit. Referee just makes sure that Jota is okay and helps him back to his feet. No physio needing to come on. He gets back into his position to allow things to carry on. And the referee just drops the ball now at Martinez's feet, just outside of the area. And we will carry on. Goes sideways now to De Ligt. De Ligt back to Martinez. Up towards the halfway line. Still continues up towards the halfway line without a Nottingham Forest attempt to tackle. Goes across now to De Ligt. One over now to Yoro. Yoro goes all the way back to his goalkeeper again. Now across to Martinez, back to Onana again on the edge of the area. Onana goes sideways with the pass, this time to Yoro. Inside to De Ligt. Down the line it goes for Amad Diallo. And to Ugarte, and the tackle's made there by Ryan Yates, and he wins the free kick. He goes down under the challenge. And Nottingham Forest have a free kick inside Manchester United's half. They just seem to have stabilised the momentum that Manchester United were building. It's going to be taken by Murillo, and players have moved forward for this. Milenkovic has gone into the box, as is Chris Wood. Cross goes towards Milinkovic at the back post. Header back into the middle. Header goalwards. It's off the crossbar. Cleared by De Ligt. It's fallen to the feet of Wood, whose effort's been blocked, I think, by his own man. And then Morgan Gibbs-White makes sure that goes out of play for a goal kick in the end. That header back across the face of goal was then directed goalwards by Jota Silva. Nearly at the top corner of the crossbar. It went with some power. Ricocheted back to the edge of the 6-yard box. After the goal kick, Onana gets the ball back from De Ligt. Takes this towards the edge of his area. Goes across to De Ligt. De Ligt getting up towards that halfway line. Gives this to Bruno Fernandes. And goes back again to Lisandro Martinez. Martinez up towards the halfway line. There's no press from Nottingham Forest inside United's half at all. United have got the ball inside their own half quite comfortably, and Forest don't have a player inside United's half at that point. Just letting United hold on to the possession. Try and work the ball, and they just focus on cutting out the channels. Now it goes across to De Ligt. Inside the centre circle to Ugarte. And then Garnacho. And back to De Ligt again. Now the pass goes inside. Collected by Rasmus Højlund. Now to Ugarte. Switched onto the left hand side. It's collected well by Dallo. Dallo tries to beat his man. Lays this off for Garnacho. Brings this inside. Garnacho on the edge of the area. Goes back to Martinez. Then to Kobbie Mainoo. Now to Diogo Dallo. On the line that goes for Garnacho. Can he keep it in play? He's gone down to ground. Wants a free kick. And a free kick has been given to Manchester United. That's very similar in my opinion to the one that wasn't given a little bit earlier on Jota Silva. When I said that if it was the other way around, that's certainly a free kick, but I meant other way around as in defender and attacker. It's been given against Ryan Yates. It's been given in favour of the tackle that was made on Alejandro Garnacho. Bruno Fernandes again from a very similar position to earlier, just outside of the area. We'll take this. Players are still inside the 6-yard box for Manchester United. You've got Diallo lurking on the edge. Nottingham Forest a bit more alert to it this time. Ugarte's there as well. Fernandes does have options to his right hand side should he choose to lay this ball off. Again inside the 6-yard box, plenty of Manchester United options. Martinez is up from the back, as is Yoro. And De Ligt. Fernandes this time goes in towards the back post. It's headed away by Wood, further away by Gibbs-White, who's then gone down to ground. Wants a free kick and it's not being given. Out by Garnacho to Bruno Fernandes again. Run up on the edge of the area, back to Dallo. Dallo's cross goes in, headed away this time by Milenkovic. And as far as the edge of the area, and it's brought down by Garnacho. Turns on the ball, goes down to ground, and a free kick's been given against Jota Silva this time. And Jota Silva is going to receive a yellow card for it. First of all, he couldn't believe that it was a free kick. Second of all, he can't believe he's been booked. It's a tough one to handle on that occasion. It's a slight tug of the shirt of Garnacho, but maybe the Manchester United winger has gone down too easy in Jota's eyes. Second yellow card of the season. And he gets into position ready for this Manchester United free kick again in a dangerous position. By the touchline, in line with the edge of the goalkeeper's area. Players stay up from the back. Dalot makes a run at the back post as well. Lurking on the edge again is Rasmus Højlund, as is Garnacho. Diallo on the edge of the area also. If Bruno Fernandes can get a good cross in here, Manchester United could complete the turnaround. And it goes towards the middle. It is headed away though by Chris Wood, and it's out of play for another corner to Manchester United. Feels like they've had more corners than they have due to the free kick positioning. So we've had a couple of trial runs with it. De Ligt, Martinez and Euro staying inside the 6-yard box again. In swinging corner goes towards the near post, headed away by Ryan Yates. Free kick has been given this time. I think the referee's saying that it was in an offside position. Don't see that very often, offside from a corner. He's given it, in fact, for Diego Dalot's challenge inside the area. Gave it almost immediately. It's going to be a free kick now that Sells will take, but he can take it from inside the 6-yard box. Upfield, he goes again. Headed down by Yates. So it goes now to Wood. On the edge of the area, sends it goalwards, can't keep his shot down. It's going to be a goal kick to Manchester United. Nottingham Forest just reminding United that they are still there. If they're not going to take the chances, Forest will try to do so. In fact, I think that's a corner that's been given. It was Jota's effort, and it did take a deflection off Matthijs de Ligt on its way through. And United now have a corner to defend. In swinger from the left. Goes towards the near post. It's headed away only as far as the 6-yard box. Pulled back this time. Nearly finds its way in by Murillo. Goes for the near post of Andre Onana, who gets himself down quickly. But it's the side netting this time. But United now have a goal kick. I'm going to think the Forest manager will be more than happy that his side are still showing that they're still in this. Goal kick taken by Onana out short to De Ligt. Again with plenty of space to move into it. Just forces Forest back further though with this deep line. It's just meaning that United can find a way through. And back to De Ligt again. Up towards the halfway line. De Ligt across this time to Yoro. Now to Diallo. Inside his own half. Onto his left foot. Looks for switching the ball across to Garnacho, but opts instead to go sideways to Yoro. He moves 5 yards further forward before playing that ball back to De Ligt, and then across this time to Martinez. Back inside to De Ligt again. Then across to Yoro. Yoro back to his goalkeeper. Onana just inside of the area. Then to De Ligt. Out to Yoro. And back to Onana. Switched out left this time, only just kept in by Garnacho, and it's only his first touch that managed to do so. His second knocked it out of play, and it is going to be a throw into Forest now in a dangerous position. They are starting to heighten that intensity a little bit, put United under some pressure inside their own half, force them into some kind of mistakes. It's going to be Ola Aina that takes the throw, with everybody in the box at the moment. Expect a long throw into around the 6-yard box area. He's level with the edge of the area, so it is a dangerous position for Forest if they can make something from it. Goes short instead now to Anderson. Back to Aina again. Has to turn on the ball, gives it back to Anderson. Cross into the box is blocked. Goes out of play for a corner ball to Nottingham Forest. Anderson back up to his feet. Again, Milinkovic comes forward for the corner, stands in the same position as he did when he scored his goal earlier. Got Murillo there again, and extra support in the box. Out swinging corner on its way. Same direction, goes towards Milinkovic, but it's headed away this time. As far as Nico Williams, goes all the way back to Aina. Aina takes a touch and goes back out to Elliot Anderson, then back to Aina again inside his own half. Aina goes back to his goalkeeper, and the first time clearance from Sells goes upfield. Headed away from Chris Wood by De Ligt, brought down though in midfield by Yates. Yates now down the line for Williams. Williams now for Jota. Jota inside for Williams, looks for Wood, but it's weak and it's watched by Martinez, who wins it back for United, now gives it to Bruno Fernandes, switched across onto the left hand side. Hoyland tries to let it run, but Aina gets there first, and a chance now for Forest to break. Jota, down the line it goes, chance here with Aina, options in the box, pulls it all the way back, but Rasmus Hoyland's back, helping out and wins it back for United. Now United have a chance to break with Bruno Fernandes, onto the left hand side. Garnacho's going to chase it. Is he going to keep it in play? Only just by the touchline, but he brings it inside to the edge of the area. Brings it back to Fernandes again, then back to Garnacho. Garnacho sends it goalwards, but it's saved and held by Sells. Very much a will they, won't they then, with counter-attacks between Manchester United and Nottingham Forest. The ball eventually just goes into the arms of the Forest keeper. 37 minutes gone here at Old Trafford. It is Manchester United 1, Nottingham Forest 1. Now Milinkovic, cross to Murillo, and then back to Sells again. Sells goes upfield with the pass, headed away by Kobe Mainu. Brought down now by Bruno Fernandes, who goes down to ground and wins a free kick for the foul from Ryan Yates. Bruno Fernandes again stands over this in a very dangerous position for Manchester United if he can get a good cross into the box. He's moving up from the back again in the form of Martinez, De Ligt and Yoro. But the high line from Forest keeps the players on the edge of the area for now. 7 minutes left to go in this first half. Fernandes puts this in towards the back post. Dallow's there, but it's an excellent dive from Sells to push this away. Only as far as De Ligt, who gets it back into the box, headed away once again. Knocked out of the way there by Aina before it gets into the path of Alejandro Garnacho. Then the clearance goes up towards Hudson-Odoi, but it's won back by Ugarte. And again, Manchester United get possession. It's now with Bruno Fernandes. Through the middle it goes to Rasmus Hoyland. And then one back again, and the free kick's been given to Manchester United, this time in shooting distance, a very dangerous position still. And it's just a slight collision, isn't it? And any sort of collision between two players at the moment, the referee is given a free kick for. He's not given the game chance to carry on. Now Bruno Fernandes has stood over the free kick from just a couple of yards to the right of the D on the edge of the area, maybe 5 yards out from the edge of the area, so between 23 and 25 yards out. Sells just organising his wall at the moment. Diogo Dalot stood over the free kick as well. You know how much of a threat that Bruno Fernandes can be from these situations and what these can contribute. Player laid down underneath the wall or just behind it, in case the decision from Fernandes is to keep a low shot. Sells moves off of his post, referee's whistle goes. Bruno Fernandes over the free kick. Options in the middle. Fernandes goes up and over and he's hit the crossbar and it's headed away before it gets into the path of Rasmus Højlund once again. Aina gets rid of it this time and it's back out to Garnacho. Down the line to Fernandes. Fernandes' cross has been miscued. It's fallen into the path of Aina. And now a chance for Nottingham Forest to break again with Hudson-Odoi. Down the line it's going to be chased down by Chris Wood. Can he get there? He can't, ahead of Ugarte, who goes all the way back to his goalkeeper. And then Onana passes this out, this time to Yoro. And Yoro can move it back up the field for Manchester United. Now to Amad Diallo. Bruno Fernandes with that free kick though. Just couldn't quite dip enough and it ricocheted back off the crossbar, but didn't quite take the sort of force that the header did earlier on. And Forest hit the crossbar. Now back with Onana again inside the area. Onana's ball upfield. Headed away by Milenkovic inside Manchester United's half, but it's won back by Lisandro Martinez, who plays the ball over the top to be chased down by Garnacho. Headed back towards his own goalkeeper by Aina, but Garnacho was alert, as was Sells. Got there just ahead of Manchester United striker. That free kick might actually have been going if it hadn't come off of the head of one of the Nottingham Forest players on its way through. Now Manchester United with Kobbie Mainoo. Gets it to Fernandes. Back to Mainoo. Loses out on possession. Out to Jota on the right hand side for Nottingham Forest. Still an option. Chris Wood's in the middle. He has to turn on the ball instead. Goes back inside. Lays this ball off. Will be chased down on the right by Yates. Wiseman says he kept it in play. So Hudson-Odoi again. Tristan turns on the ball towards the corner flag and the throw-in has been given to Forest. 5 yards further across from the corner flag. On their right. Aina goes across to take it. And Espirito Santo just looking on with the rain pouring down here in Manchester. On the mark of the 6-yard box, the throw from Aina is going to be one into the box. Goes all the way through and it bounces out of play for a goal kick. A long throw specialist trying to capitalise. There's certainly been a change. Manchester United had 81% possession after Forest had taken a 1-0 lead. If taking into account the entire game so far, they've had 72. Now with De Ligt again. Back to Martinez, back to De Ligt. Looks up towards the halfway line again. And back across to Martinez. Martinez again goes across. De Ligt's under pressure, has to get one further across to Yoro this time. And gets to pass to Diallo and back to Yoro. Yoro goes inside to De Ligt. Last minute and a half of regular time in the first half. De Ligt continues up towards halfway, goes sideways to Martinez. Manchester United just look comfortable in possession, more than happy to see things through to the half-time whistle as Bruno Fernandes gets the ball, drops his shoulder and moves inside, gives this to Amad Diallo. Tackle comes in, wins the ball back fairly, says the referee, and Forest have a chance to break. And now down to ground goes Morgan Gibbs-White, and a free kick is given in Forest's favour just inside their own half. Kobbie Mainoo the one to have fouled. It's going to be taken this time by Elliot Anderson. He leaves this across for Nico Williams. Still do have options either side of him though. Chooses to go across to Milenkovic. And back to Sells. Sells upfield, headed back towards his own goalkeeper by De Ligt. Needed the support from Yoro, but does eventually go into the arms of Onana. Now to Martinez. Martinez up towards the halfway line. Across to Ugarte. Now De Ligt. Delict outside the centre circle, out right now to Yoro. 1 minute added time indicated at the end of this first half, and we are now into it as Onana gets the ball. Can make quite a bit of distance himself from coming out of the area. Not far off the halfway line himself. Tells you how deep this press from Nottingham Forest is. Just allowing United to hold possession, but United are looking a bit more comfortable in it now than they did when they started. Creating more from it too. Now with Garnacho. Looks to turn Ryan Yates and continue his run, but referee says that Garnacho was unfairly brought to the ground by the Forest captain. There'll be a free kick to Manchester United that again Bruno Fernandes is straight across to take. Takes it quickly in search of Kobbie Mainoo, but alert and ready for it was Aina, who won it back for Forest. He's now got it on the right hand side. Tackle comes in again from Garnacho. And Forest put that out of play for a throw into United on the left hand side. Well, it started off eventful in the opening 10 minutes of the game. Manchester United falling behind courtesy of a goal within the first 90 seconds through Milinkovic. However, they found themselves back on the score sheet after Rasmus Højlund pounced on a first save from Sells after Garnacho was fed through by Ugarte. At half-time at Old Trafford is Manchester United 1, Knocks it out of play for a throw-in though, and it's Manchester United's throw-in who've tried to run down the wing with it. Now to Diallo, into the box with Kobe Mainu. Mainu tries to beat multiple players. It's fallen to Hoyland. Can't direct it goalwards. Into the boxes this time. Kobe Mainu turned on a sixpence with the ball, and it full to Forest players. But Hoyland couldn't get the shot away. It's now a corner for United, much to the defence of Nottingham Forest's disappointment. In swinger from the left hand side from Bruno Fernandes. And it goes towards the middle, punched away this time by Sells. Towards the edge of the area where Garnacho collects the ball. Fernandes is still making that run. He halted that run just as the ball was played by Garnacho. Both players just seem to understand there's a miscommunication between the two of them on that instance. Andre Onana is really cheering on his side, hoping that his error is not going to prove too costly. And it goes now. One back by United defensively with De Ligt. Out to the left hand side for Dallo. Dallo on the edge of the area, puts the cross into the box. It's just a bit too high there for Fernandes. And Kobe Mainu can't win it. Now it's with Ugarte, still on the edge of the area, tries to get the pass away, but Nottingham Forest come away with the ball again. This time with Wood, out onto the right-hand side to be chased down by Gibbs-White. Can he keep it in play? Yes. Now gives it to Jota. Jota brings it inside. Gibbs-White takes the ball off of him. Down the right-hand side still. Morgan Gibbs-White, cross goes into the middle, headed away this time by De Ligt. As far as the edge of the area, it's won back though still by Anderson. Back out again to Gibbs-White. Cross goes in towards the back post. Wood heads it across the face of goal, and it's dropped in the space of the opening 10 minutes of the second half. Nottingham Forest, they retook the lead, but having learnt from the earlier mistake, this time they've gone on to double their advantage. It's Manchester United 1, Nottingham Forest 3. The cross in towards the back post, and Chris Wood with a looping header. It just dipped over Andre Onana. I mean, he was at fault for the last goal, but I wouldn't say he was this time. It's Morgan Gibbs-White who takes the touch to get it out from under his feet. Crossing towards the back post, and Wood's header across. It was back towards Anderson, who just allowed it to take a dip, and it dropped past both De Ligt, and Martinez was on the line and he couldn't get rid of it either. He seems to have let it run almost as if he expected it to go wide. And Morgan Gibbs-White, who has had such a quiet first half, in the opening 10 minutes has got himself a goal and an assist. At Old Trafford now, it is Manchester United 1, Nottingham Forest 3. And the issues at Old Trafford just continue to persist. It is harsh to say too many negatives about Ruben Amorim until the end of at least January. Well, now Onana's given the ball away again, and now it's with Morgan Gibbs-White. Plays it through this time for Jota. Jota gets the cross in, but it's blocked by Ugarte, and it's out of play for a corner, and that one was an issue with Andre Onana. The pass went back this time from De Ligt to the Manchester United goalkeeper. He didn't see the rush being made by Morgan Gibbs-White. We will have a fourth corner of the afternoon for Forest. Now a pass out from De Ligt goes up to Fernandes, who's brought down to ground just inside his own half. Back to De Ligt again. Across to Martinez. Martinez has passed through for Fernandes, is way too heavy, and it's gone all the way through to Murillo. Plays the ball forward now, and a chance perhaps here for Nottingham Forest to break. They're playing with confidence at the moment. Out on the right for Jota. Then inside for Morgan Gibbs-White. Tackle comes in from Ugarte, who wins it back. Ugarte's got space to move forward with it. On the left-hand side, he's still got Garnacho. Inside the centre circle, he goes down to ground, and it's gone down too easy there from the tackle from Ryan Yates. It's a free kick that's been given. It's been passed out now to Diallo on the right-hand side. Now inside to Bruno Fernandes, who is brought down to ground by Chris Wood, and this one is the correct decision, I think, and then he's been pushed down to ground himself by Yoro. I think the free kick this time around is the right decision. Now Martinez goes out left for Diogo Dalot. Onto his right foot. Cross goes in towards the middle. It's been cleared as far as the edge of the area with Ugarte again. Pass across this time to Yoro. Now to Diallo. On the edge of the area. Dribbles it in. Looks for the pass into Hoyland, but he's not made the run either. And now there's a chance for Forest to break on the left with Callum Hudson-Odoi up against Ugarte and Mainu. And Hudson-Odoi continues his press forward. He's ahead of Yoro now. He's got options in the box. He's had to hold it up now, though, because United are back in numbers. Goes back this time to Anderson. Cross onto the edge of the area for Morgan Gibbs-White. Sends it goalwards. It's been blocked by De Ligt. Fallen back into the path of Callum Hudson-Odoi. Through ball this time. Just kept in play here for Forest with another chance. Into the box. Headed away by Martinez. Forest the edge of the area, but Gibbs-White gets under the ball too much, and it's now all Nottingham Forest. And now we'll see the first change for Manchester United. And it's going to be, off goes Alejandro Garnacho. And on comes Marcus Rashford. To see just how Rashford can add his input into this game. As United take the goal kick short from Martinez to Onana. Onana takes it to the edge of the area before passing the ball off. Because of how deep Forest are sat, he's able to do that, but he's then stood on the edge of the area. He's playing a very high sweeper keeper role at the moment. Martinez goes back across to De Ligt. Long ball up from De Ligt. Headed away this time by Nico Williams into the path of Diallo. Diallo's continued his run into the area. Advantage has been given. And there's nothing come from it as Aina walks out with the ball. Again the cross from Diallo, but there was nobody in there trying to capitalise on the cross. Another pass inside again to Gibbs-White. Out to Hudson-Odoi. Now for Nico Williams, back inside for Gibbs-White. Gibbs-White back out to Anderson. And now Hudson-Odoi again by the touchline. Brings this back. Boris Yates. And now Gibbs-White again. Murillo. Down the line for Hudson-Odoi. And then Gibbs-White. Now Anderson. Forest playing with the ball in United's half, and that through ball from Anderson finds Chris Wood. Can he make it far? No, he can't. He pokes it wide. It's a Manchester United goal kick, but what a way to reach down mark that would have been. The goal kick's taken short this time to De Ligt. It's out to Ugarte. Now Bruno Fernandes. Down to Diogo Dalot. At the moment he's up against Aina, and Diogo Dalot wants the free kick in. He's not going to get it. It's going to go in Forest's direction. Dalot's disappointed, and Bruno Fernandes is just calming him down. As Amarim's just having a word with his bench once more. I think might be expecting another change to be made momentarily. Switches this over towards Chris Wood. And back by Fernandes. Out to Diallo on the right hand side. He's got space to move into. He's got options alongside him. Diallo takes it into the area. Dribbles it back onto his left foot. Still can't get the shot away. Gives it to Fernandes. Excellent finish from Bruno Fernandes. And Manchester United pull another one back. The run, there was originally a pass from Bruno Fernandes out onto the right hand side for Amad Diallo, who continued his run into the area. He pulled it back and thought he'd done too much. It looked almost like he had done too much. But he gave it back to Bruno Fernandes on the edge of the area, who finished it quite comfortably past Sells from just to the edge of the area. Forest lost their man as he decided to move back. He was moving into the area and he was marked up. But it's forward thinking there by Bruno Fernandes to move back out and get his shot away. And now it's Manchester United 2, Nottingham Forest 3. Forest straight from the kick-off, send the ball onto the left-hand side in search of Hudson-Odoi, but it's then gone out of play for a throw-in. Well, it's 5 goals in 9 appearances now for Bruno Fernandes. Leading from the front at the moment is the captain. Into space now, Aina makes a run to the edge of the area. Back with Hudson-Odoi, now Aina again. Thought he'd gone out of play by making that run, but he's managed to get the pass off to Ryan Yates inside instead. Then back out now to Jota. Tipped through to Morgan Gibbs-White, who tries to get through two Manchester United players, goes down to ground, but nothing's been given as Martinez plays this back now to Kobbie Mainoo, who's got space to move up into. Up towards the halfway line he goes. Plays it short to Rashford and he gets the ball back. Mainoo then goes back to De Ligt again just inside his own half. Across now to Martinez. Sandro Martinez up towards the halfway line. Nice pass through to Højlund. And then to Kobbie Mainoo, whose first touches into the path of Nottingham Forest players, but the clearance gives possession back to Manchester United. It's now with Fernandes. Dalot across towards the back post with Diallo, who can't direct it goalwards, and it goes wide. Goal kick. It was knocked away and it fell into the path of Diallo, who had time to take a touch at the back post. It seemed to just swipe at it and it went wide. Well, the next change that United have been looking at doing is imminent, and it is going to be the introduction of Mazraoui when the ball next goes out of play, I assume. It's now with Dalot. Switches onto his right foot and switches it across. Now to Rashford. Diallo still also making himself an option as Rashford continues to run down the right. Footwork from him, tries to get the ball past Ryan Yates, but he can't do so. It's won back now by Elliot Anderson, who tries to dribble it back in. It ricochets off of Marcus Rashford and out of play for a throw into Nottingham Forest. Harry Maguire will also be coming onto the field for Manchester United, I assume at the same time as Mazraoui. And that's going to happen now, whilst Forest have a throw-in. So we will see Maguire and Mazraoui on. Just going to see who it is that's going to be leaving the field for United. The first change is going to be Matthijs de Ligt, who sprints off the field. The second is going to be Lenny Yoro off the field. So Lenny Yoro and Matthijs de Ligt replaced by Mazraoui and Maguire. Very defensive options brought onto the field. One throw down the line. Falls back to the feet of Mazraoui. Now to Kobbie Mainoo. Mainoo over the top into the channel for Højlund to chase. Headed back to his goalkeeper though by Aina. We've reached the 65-minute mark. 25 left to go. At the halfway point of this second half. It's currently 2-1 to Nottingham Forest in this half. 3-2 overall. Mazraoui gets rid of the ball out of play for a throw into Forest now on the left hand side. Looks like he's dropped in at right back. Martinez has gone to centre back with Dallow at left back, and Maguire's then gone centre back alongside him. Change of formation to 4 at the back, and Kobbie Mainoo in like a holding midfield role, as Maguire has to be alert there from a poor pass by Kobbie Mainoo. Header won this time by Yates up against Bruno Fernandes, who's holding on to his head. The referee has stopped play just because of him holding on to his head. Ryan Yates, who has been spoken to multiple times by the referee from challenges, but he feels it's poor from Bruno Fernandes to be holding on to his head for that long, to the point that the referee needs to stop the game. It'll be Mainoo and Ugarte as the 2 holding midfielders, and it'll be Bruno Fernandes, Amad Diallo and Marcus Rashford as the attacking midfielders, with Højlund as the striker. But we'll now see a change for Nottingham Forest. And Morato is going to come on for Jota Silva. And that is their first change. So when the referee says they'll drop the ball to Ryan Yates, the Forest captain, and will be able to continue. Forest's captain now, Ryan Yates, goes back to Aina. And then out to Gibbs White. He goes all the way back to his goalkeeper. It's a dangerous pass, but he does manage to get out from under his feet before Højlund can get there. Now with Dallow on the left-hand side, tries to beat his man, but can't get ahead of Morgan Gibbs White, and it's watched out of play for a throw-in, which Forest will take. It's going to be taken by Aina again, but going to take his time before doing so. And looking down the line for Morgan Gibbs White. Overthrows the ball past him though. Headed away by Dallow. And as far as Wood. And Mazraoui comes across to win it back for United. Now to Lisandro Martinez. Towards the halfway line he goes. Martinez's pass upfield goes to Bruno Fernandes. Inside to Højlund. Højlund loses out on the challenge, but it's headed all the way back to his goalkeeper from Milenkovic. And Sells holds on to the ball. Headed away now by Martinez again. Manchester United looking a bit stronger defensively. A bit more organised at the back now with both Maguire and Martinez. And Fernandes switches this across. Headed away though by Williams. Into the path of Diallo. Can they start to look a bit more organised and aggressive attackingly? Martinez. Now into Mainoo. On the edge of the area. Mainoo continues dribbling in towards the area. On the edge lays this off for Marcus Rashford, but the tackle's won back by Ryan Yates, and he continues pressing forward, and that's excellent work by Ryan Yates. On to Morgan Gibbs White on the right hand side, who loses out on the ball, and it's back with Manchester United, but a misplaced pass this time from Højlund gives possession back to Forest. And they're just taking their time with the ball. There was a chance to pass it through to Chris Wood at that point, but they let it go. And now Nico Williams tries to beat his man, but goes down to ground. It's back with Kobbie Mainoo now inside of Forest's half. Across to Bruno Fernandes, switched out right now to Diallo. Diallo up against Nico Williams, brings it in onto his left foot. Tackle comes in though by Nico Williams, he's won it back, but Mazraoui wins it back for United in a dangerous position. Diallo gets the cross in. There was an attempt of heading it away there by Murillo. It was on the ground, so he would have been better going with it with his foot, but threw himself to ground and missed the ball completely. It's only gone as far as Aina, who's managed to get rid of it eventually for Forest. Now Martinez keeps it in play and gives it to Mainoo. Mainoo now across to Martinez. And back to Mainoo and back to Martinez again, almost by the touchline. Martinez points to where he wants Mainoo to make that run, and he gives it to Diogo Dallow. Down the line that pass goes towards Bruno Fernandes, but it's too heavy and it allows Milenkovic to shepherd the ball out of play. It's going to be a goal kick now. Nottingham Forest again will take the time to get back into the field of play. United are preparing for another change with Joshua Zirkzee warmed up and kitted up. I imagine that would be a like-for-like change for Rasmus Højlund. Well, the long ball upfield to Chris Wood. He's brought it down and he wants a free kick for being held on to, but the referee's not going to give it. Now Maguire out to Mazraoui. Mazraoui's long ball down the line is going to be chased by Murillo. He gets there ahead of Højlund, passes this out onto the left-hand side to Nico Williams. It's well handled defensively from Forest's perspective, but they're still with some work to do. And this time the pass towards Hudson-Odoi. He's caught it with the top of his boot and put it out of play for a throw into United. It's taken short now by Mazraoui to Maguire. Maguire goes across to Martinez. Takes this into Forest's half. Gives it to Manuel Ugarte. Across to Mazraoui again. Down the line for Diallo. Up against Nico Williams at the moment. Diallo plays it back to Ugarte. Through the middle it goes. Ricocheted back in the path of Mainu. Now to Højlund. Across it goes to Dalot inside the area. Back to Mainu again. Looks to feed it back through from Rashford. But Mainu can't get there first, and the clearance goes all the way to Maguire, who has to go back to Onana. His first touch takes it away of the path of Chris Wood. And United come away with it again. Now to Gibbs-White. Find a lot of tricky football with fast footwork, but that's a tackle made by Diogo Dalot. Forest want a free kick and it's not been given. Back with United though now with Bruno Fernandes on the edge of the area. Fernandes puts this onto his right foot and brings it inside, goes down to ground. Referee's given advantage for United. And now Mazraoui. I think United would probably have wanted the free kick in that situation. To Rashford, out to Dalot on the edge of the area, still on the left. Tries to beat his man. Cross has been blocked this time. Falls back in the direction of Dalot. Goes back to Rashford. Rashford's crossing towards the middle. Has taken a deflection. It's fallen at the back post to Hudson-Odoi. Sends it back up towards the halfway line. And it's Harry Maguire that gets a touch on the ball. But it's United that are back in possession again. Now to Fernandes. Down to Dalot. Back inside to Martinez. Lines it up for his left foot. Effort's blocked. It's going to nearly fall into the path of Marcus Rashford. In there to clear his lines though is Nico Williams again. Won back though by Martinez. Gives it to Ugarte. Now Mazraoui. Back to Ugarte again. Now Højlund, who's gone down to ground. Wants a free kick. Nothing given. And the pass out to the right is going to be chased down by Gibbs-White. But he knows that it was a wasted effort. And the pass was just given possession back to United again, as it has been for the last 5 minutes. Spell of pressure from United, but can they do anything with it? Now with Mazraoui. Inside again to Mainu. Now for Rashford. Rashford switches this onto the left-hand side. Excellent ball. Pinpoint finds Diogo Dalot. Cross into the box. Is caught on the second attempt by Sells, who runs this out to the penalty spot and then just slows it down. Last change for United as well as Joshua Zirkzee would be the introduction of Mason Mount into the game. Those are the last two. Next time the ball goes out of play, I suspect those will be made. Heads away this time though, as far as Dalot and Kobbie Mainu. And back to Harry Maguire again. Maguire up towards the halfway line. Switches this out left. Again brought down by Diogo Dalot. Dalot's pass, he waits for the ball back from Bruno Fernandes, but the tackle that comes in this time from Aina gives Manchester United a throw-in on the left. And now Ruben Amorim is saying that he wants to make those changes, and it will be the introduction of Mason Mount, and he'll be on for Bruno Fernandes. So the armband is passed across to Harry Maguire as Mason Mount comes on in his place. And the second is going to be Manuel Ugarte, who leaves the field, and he's going to be replaced by Mason Mount. And those are your United changes for the afternoon. Forest are going to now make two more changes themselves. try and counter what Manchester United have just done. First one of those we'll see is Anthony Elanga coming on. In fact, he's just said that he wants to hold on a moment before he brings these changes on, so Forest will not bring those changes on just yet. But United have thrown everything they've got now, and that's while they are in the ascendancy with Dalot. Turns back on the ball and goes across to Maguire again. And Maguire across to Martinez. Martinez back out to Mason Mount. Down the line again to Dalot. And now for Martinez. Martinez goes across to Maguire once more. Forward to Xerxes. And back to Maguire. Inside the centre circle, inside of Forest half. Now Xerxes out for Mount. Mount goes across to Maguire. Maguire across now to Mazraoui. And Mazraoui down the line again. Gets this ball back. Pass goes inside. It's going to be chased down this time by Elliot Anderson. Puts this out of play for a throw into Manchester United, entering up to the final 10 minutes of this game, plus any added time that the referee chooses to add on. And now we'll see those two changes for Notts Forest, and Morgan Gibbs-White will be one that leaves the field after scoring and getting an assist in this second half. And he'll be going off, and on in his place will be Anthony Elanga, and Dominguez is coming on as well in place of Chris Wood. So Wood and Gibbs-White off, Dominguez and Elanga on. The two changes for Forest. Still do have two available, should they choose to use them. Entering to these final 10 minutes. If you asked Forest before the game kicked off, would they have taken a point away to Manchester United? I think maybe more would have said yes than no. I'm just going to have a bit more of a pause here, as the referee is just speaking to Elliot Anderson. There's a bit of a technical issue going on at the moment with the microphone for the referee and the linesman. So until this technical issue has been fixed, we are going to be able to continue. But Darren England is just speaking to the linesman about it. And he has just asked the linesman to go across. I think this might actually be a lengthy pause that we're going to have here, because we won't be able to carry on without the linesman, of course. He's gone over to the side to receive the extra microphone and the extra battery pack, just to make sure that he's able to communicate with the referee. But it's allowed those substitutions to be made. It's allowed Ruben Amorim to have a word with his side by the touchline. What a performance this has been from Nottingham Forest so far, taking the lead inside the opening 90 seconds, being pegged back by United and taking a 2-goal lead, and they're standing firm at the moment against United. It's not going to be easy in these final 10 minutes. They've thrown everything they've got at it, the likes of Xerxes and Rashford now on the field as well, a bit more of an attacking presence. Mason Mount with an attacking mindset, on for a defensive mentality of Ugarte. As a result, at the moment would leave Nottingham Forest moving up into 5th place, and Manchester United will be down in 13th. It does mean United remain in the bottom half of the table. As a resulting play has led to a bit of a head clash between Hudson-Odoi and Mazraoui, just from the throw-in that was taken by Diallo. It wasn't even them both going up for the ball, it was just an incident where they turned and ran into each other. No free kick given. But the referee has called on the physio to have a look at Mazraoui, who's just come onto the field. I'm of the impression that if this is concussion related, United will have another change that they can make. If it is not, then they may have to just carry on with 10 players. But Mazraoui seemed to be okay, and the refs called the physio on. And the physio have now taken Mazraoui to the touchline for the ref to allow things to carry on. So United for the moment are down to 10 players. He's just thrown the ball down for Harry Maguire. Across to Diallo now, back to Maguire again, just inside his own half. Then again, Diallo's now moved back into a right back position just to help out. Kobbie Mainoo helping out defensively. This time the pass towards his own goalkeeper, Rashford. Murillo wins it back for Forest. As Elliot Anderson tries to come away with the ball, Marcus Rashford wins it back and goes into his own half with a pass there for Harry Maguire. As now Mazraoui is back on the field and able to continue. Maguire now passes it up to Xerxes and back to Maguire again at the halfway line. Now Maguire up towards Rashford. Rashford now to Diallo. Rashford continues his run by the touchline, crossing towards the middle. Header gowards by Diallo. Saved well by Sells. 83 minutes gone. United 2, Forest 3 is the scoreline at the moment at Old Trafford. Nottingham Forest have lost 12 of the last 13 games against Manchester United in all competitions. United have won 7 consecutive home meetings between the two sides. Both of those streaks could come towards an end now. In the next 10 minutes, Martinez across to Maguire. Halfway between his own area and the halfway line. Maguire moves out with the ball. He's got Kobbie Mainoo offering support for him. Goes across this time to Mazraoui. Passes back again to Maguire. Towards halfway again. Maguire switches this out left towards Diallo. It's taken a bounce and goes out of play for Manchester United. For a Nottingham Forest throw-in, sorry. On their right hand side that Aina's going to go across and take. One of 3 changes made from Santo at the moment. He does have scope for 2 more, as long as they're done at the same time. This time it's away by Gibbs-White. Searches down the line for Dominguez. It's gone all the way through this time for Onana. Passes it out to Maguire again and back to Onana. Dominguez just steps off as Onana comes out with the ball. As he goes out to Martinez now, Elanga presses. Across to Maguire. Maguire up towards the halfway line. Now to Xerxes. Inside to Mainoo. And now to Martinez. And then Mount. Now Diallo. Diallo dribbles this inside. Down the line it goes towards Xerxes. Xerxes lets it run and gets the better of his man. Back inside towards Diallo. Inside the area, crosses blocked and it's out of play for a United corner. But we will have a moment's pause before it's taken. As Ryan Yates gets back to his bearings. And blocked that with his head. But Maguire makes his way into the area. One of the more aerial threats inside the Premier League. In swinging corner on its way from Mason Mount. Goes towards the back post. Headed back across by Martinez. Claimed in the area by Sells, who again goes down to ground. 4 minutes left to go now. Chested back by Maguire. Onana now out to Martinez. Martinez goes up towards the halfway line. Through ball now to Xerxes. Xerxes has space, gives it to Hoyland. Hoyland with his back to goal. Outside the area at the moment, has to dribble it out. Gives it now to Diogo Dalot. Back again to Martinez. Cross to Maguire. Now to Mazraoui. Mazraoui out to Diallo. Onto his left foot now to Xerxes. Lays this back off to Mainu. Switched across to Dalot. Still outside of the area for United at the moment. Cross comes in from Dalot towards the back post, headed away. It's fallen and sent goalwards this time by Kobbie Mainu, but it's taken a block and Forest will clear the lines again. It's with Mazraoui on the right hand side. Back to Kobbie Mainu. Tries to beat his man. Can't do it the first time. Will try the second. Goes down to ground. Nothing given. And eventually Nico Williams will put the ball out of play for a United throw-in. That looked like the chances. It was headed away by Murillo. It fell to Diallo and Murillo just threw himself in front of it from the 6-yard line. Throwing taken this time by Mazraoui. Goes all the way back to Martinez. Up against Maguire at the moment. Martinez passes this forward to Rashford and then back to Mainu. Mainu across to Martinez again. Still has Maguire to his left. Goes direct with Xerxes. Now to Hoyland. Hoyland again back to Martinez. Out towards Dalot, but it's blocked out. Now to Hudson-Odoi. Down the line, it's going to be chased down by Elanga, but the tackle comes in from Martinez, who targets his goalkeeper and gets the ball back to him. It's with Onana just to the edge of the area. Passes this to Maguire again. Space to come out to. Has to go sideways to Martinez. Martinez back to Onana again. Still closed down by Dominguez. And then Mazraoui will send the ball route one upfield. Goes all the way through this time to Sells. Helps it into his own area and picks it up with a minute and a half left of regular time. And we will see these final changes being made by Forest. Or at least one of them. Just to waste a bit more time. And away this time by Maguire. Put down by Mount. He's doing so unfairly, says the referee, and it's a free kick to Forest inside the centre circle in Manchester United's half as Yates is brought down to ground. He's had an exceptional game in my opinion as Ryan Yates. He's been all over the place today. Well, coming off the field now as the final change for Forest is Callum Hudson-Odoi. And he is going to be replaced by Taiwo Awoniyi. And that will be the final change for Forest. And I think the intention there is just to hold the ball up. But as Callum Hudson-Odoi leaves the field, standing ovation and a round of applause from the section of Old Trafford that is occupied by the Nottingham Forest travelling supporters. Chip ball in from Murillo, headed away now to Xerxes. Up to Rashford. Now Mount, out to Diallo, back to Mazraoui, and back to Diallo again. Now to Maguire, still on the edge of his own area. Forest back to players behind the ball again. Maguire drives and switches it across to Dalot. Dalot brings it inside. Onto his right foot, lines up an effort and gets too much under it. Out of play for a goal kick. Well, there's 7 minutes of added time to be added on at the end of this game for Manchester United to clinch a point, if not more, or for Nottingham Forest to hold on. Dalot just brought that in and managed to get the ball away from Aina, but not quite sure with that shot. He got too much under it. Put it out of play for a goal kick now. Just taking his time now is Sells, and Matt Sells may receive a yellow card if he continues to do so. Here's the word from Darren England. Field it goes from goal kick again, brought down by Xerxes this time. Inside to Diallo and back to Xerxes, out to the left hand side, but nobody's there, and it's out of play for a throw in now to Forest. It's going to be Aina that comes across to take it. Searching down the line again. Zaina. Have to go some distance, and he manages to do so. Headed on this time by Awanai. Collected by Maguire though again, and out to Mason Mount. Mount's pass has been blocked, and it's going to be a throw into United this time. Taken by Diogo Dalot. All the way back to his goalkeeper just outside the area. Onana passes this across to Mazraoui. Mazraoui's passed down the line for Diallo, and he gets the ball back. Rashford's making the run further down the line into a channel. Rashford gets the ball. Inside it goes to Højlund. Højlund has a chance here, gives it to Xerxes, but it's too far ahead of him, and it's gone all the way through to the Nottingham Forest goalkeeper. And Matt Sells waits for the pressure from Joshua Xerxes before having to pick up the ball. 2 of the 7 minutes have now been played. Amram desperate to get a point at home to Forest. Very much needed. A statement win against a strong Forest side, but considering at the beginning of the season, if Forest were told they were going back-to-back away games in the space of 4 days to Manchester City and Manchester United, what would you expect from it? You certainly wouldn't expect a 3-2 win away to United to take them up to 5th in the Premier League. The impact of Nuno Espirito Santo. Up from Onana. Headed goalwards again. Out of play by Murillo. It's going to be a throw-in now to Manchester United on the left. Dalot comes across to take it. Throws this short now to Martinez. Martinez goes back to Mainu. Across to Mazraoui. Mazraoui's passed down the lines for Diallo. Diallo beats his man, goes down to ground though and wins a free kick against Nico Williams. Yellow card is going to be given to Nico Williams as well. Just walks away from the situation. Doesn't respond too far either way. The cross now expected for United. Can they grab something right at the end? 3.5 minutes left to go. Mason Mount stood over the free kick. Plays up from the back. Martinez and Maguire in there. Everybody forward for United. Every player back for Forest. Inside their own area at the moment. Bar Morato, who stood over the free kick. Cross in from Mount. Headed away. Falls to Rashford, sends it goalwards, but he's dragged that wide. The referee says it took a deflection. It's going to be a Manchester United corner. The way as far as the edge of the area. Did take a deflection wide off Ryan Yates. And I think his reaction said it all. It's like he knew he had to defend a corner to defend. Rashford's going to take this from the left-hand side. In swinging corner on its way. Slow to get back to his feet. Just going to take his time. No injury. Just to take his time and slow things down. That's a great block by Ryan Yates, just looking back at the effort from Rashford. Last 2 minutes now of added time. Upfield it goes from Sells. Headed away by Martinez. Brought down now by Højlund to Mount, who's brought down to ground for a tackle from Yates. Free kick to be taken. Onana rushes up to the halfway line to take it. Puts it into opposition half. Brings it back into his own to take it. And the referee's telling him he's got to move further back. And he's showing frustration towards the referee as Mazraoui is explaining that it should be absolutely fine to take it from where it is, and that's where he's put the ball back and the referee's just allowing it. In fact, no, he said now he's got to move it further back. Manchester United trailing by 3-2, and the referee's not allowing them to take this free kick. Now they can. It's with Andre Onana at the moment. The ball is blowing though, due to the wind. Onana's long ball switches over to the back post. There's the run from Maguire, heads it back in towards the middle, but it's out of play for a goal kick. And now we're in the final minute. I don't think the referee's going to have too much time on there, with Andre Onana taking his time on figuring out where the ball needs to go. And Sells just takes his time, wastes another 25 seconds off the clock before sending this ball upfield again. Nobody inside Forest's half when this is being taken. Header won by Maguire again though. This time by Yates up towards Xerxes. Header back down and into the middle. Going to be chased down this time by Elanga. Elanga takes it to the corner flag, goes down under the tackle from Dallo and wins his side a free kick. Dallo goes straight out of play, and there goes the full-time whistle. There's going to be no time for this free kick. It's the full 7 minutes that needed to be played, but Nottingham Forest have done it. After a 90-second lead taken, United drew level about 4 minutes later. And then the second half, it all began with Morgan Gibbs-White scoring from around about 20 yards out. Then he's crossing towards the back post for Chris Wood. The two were then substituted. Bruno Fernandes got himself back on the score sheet to make it Manchester United 2, Nottingham Forest 3. And that is how it will finish. Forest have entered Old Trafford, taken Nottingham Forest 3.